want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
On the day of 7/7, Peter Power, the Managing Director of Visor Consultants, gave an interview to the BBC and ITN. In those interviews, he made it abundantly clear that his organisation was running a counter-terrorist training exercise which involved bombs going off simultaneously at different London Underground stations.
Today we were running an exercise for a company, bearing in mind I'm now in the private sector, and we sat everybody down in the city, 1,000 people involved in the whole organisation, but the crisis team. And the most peculiar thing was we based our scenario on the simultaneous attacks on the Underground and mainline station. So we had to suddenly switch an exercise from fictional to real. And one of the first things is, get that bureau number. When you have a list of people missing, tell them. And so it took a long time.
Just to get this right, you were actually working today on an exercise that envisioned virtually this scenario.
Almost precisely. I was up until 2 o'clock this morning because it's our job, my own company, Visor Consultants. We specialise in helping people to get their crisis management response. How do you jump from slow time thinking to quick time doing? And we chose a scenario with their assistance which is based on a terrorist attack because they're very close to a property occupied by Jewish businessmen. They're in the city, and there are more American banks in the city than there are in the whole of New York. A logical thing to do. And I've still got the...
I was going to say, how extraordinary today must feel for you as it unfolds.
Of all the targets the terrorists could have chosen in London, they apparently elected to attack the same targets as had been envisaged by Visor Consultants in their counter-terrorist training exercise.
It was at 9:30 this morning. We were actually running an exercise for over a company of 1,000 people in London based on simultaneous bombs going off precisely at the railway stations that happened this morning. So I still have the hairs on the back of my legs standing upright.
To get this quite straight, you were running an exercise to see how you would cope with this, and it happened while you were running the exercise?
Precisely. And it was about 9:30 this morning. We'd planned this for a company, and for obvious reasons I don't want to reveal their name, but if they're listening they'll know it. We had a room full of crisis managers for the first time they met, and so within 5 minutes we made a pretty rapid decision. This is the real one. And so we went through the correct drills of activating crisis management procedures to jump from slow time to quick time thinking and so on.
Peter Power, Visor Consultants and London Underground have refused to release any more details of this counter-terrorist training exercise.
According to the Home Office, during the early hours of the 7th of July, 3 men travelled together by car from Leeds to Luton rail station. A fourth drove from Aylesbury to Luton. These 4 men were then apparently observed moving items between the cars before putting on large rucksacks and proceeding to enter Luton station. The men reportedly got a train which left Luton station at 7:40, arriving at King's Cross Thameslink at 8:23, before heading towards the London Underground, splitting up around 7 minutes later.
We contacted the King's Cross and Luton officials. They let us have the databases for that morning. The train was clearly cancelled, and we then interviewed commuters on the platform. They told us that it wasn't running that day, and we got details of how each of the trains that did run were delayed